And we're back. We're back. Yeah, sorry about that. We had some signal problems. So, we were talking about Saints Row 4, what we know. All right, so the President of the United States is the head of the Saints. He has been kidnapped by an alien race that has come to the Earth, and essentially the way they colonize planets is they kidnap important people and put them in their own virtual reality, kind of like a Matrix-y virtual hell, a nightmare for them. So, as the head of the Saints, you're President of the United States, you are kidnapped by these Zin and put into this virtual reality, which is like a evil version of, what was the name of the city from 3?
Steelport.
Steelport. I kept wanting to go Freeport, Newport. No, that wasn't it. Steelport. So you're in Steelport. And you are the evil version. So
not really the evil version of yourself.
No, the evil version of Steelport.
Oh, yeah.
And in this evil version, there are portals that will open up where you are, where the Zin will come through, and you will fight them. In this virtual reality world, that's where you have your superpowers.
One of the things I thought was interesting is that because this was started as an expansion pack, the world of Steelport is the same one that it was in Saints Row 3. Like, the map hasn't changed. And that seems like, oh, yeah, expansion pack, that's why. But then they've added in all these other, like, sci-fi elements, like real tall skyscrapers. Like, not skyscrapers like your Saints Row base, but things floating in the sky. And that kind of makes sense. Like, it's kind of funny because just looking at it now, you can kind of see how it's grown from an expansion pack into a full game. We're like, oh, they might have been reusing stuff at one point, but they've changed it to make that thing that was once familiar much bigger and unfamiliar.
Right. And a couple of new weapons that they have already announced. One of them is going to be the Inflato Ray.
I really loved how when the guy's head bulged, his eyes bulged at the last second right before he blew up.
Yeah, there was quite a few little things in there, and as mentioned, I didn't like 3, and this 4 is really. It jumps out at me. I don't know what it was about 3. In fact, we were just talking on the way over here that might be a topic for one of our Game On shows is like, do you have to be in the mood for a game? Is there a bad time to maybe play a game? Because maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was work, Nick, or maybe it was just maybe you were rubbing me the wrong way after a show.
Maybe. I have that effect on people.
But, yeah, I just didn't enjoy 3 at all. I didn't play it that much either. I probably played it for a half hour to an hour. So maybe I didn't give it the time. Maybe I was a little short that week. But 4, people, wow. Yeah, just that the whole gun where he shot it and the guy blew up like a balloon and then his head exploded was great. There was a few other things. The dance thing. The Zumba thing.
The dubstep gun. Yep. I loved that because it's basically as soon as you shoot it and it pulses like a dubstep beat. So it's like whoa, 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 whoa. And those are the bullets that are coming out. And then as you do that, the people around you start dancing in like a weird dubstep
and it's not just the people,
robot.
It's the cars are jumping.
And then the cars start jumping too. And everything turns into like a dubstep dance floor as you're shooting people in rhythm with the dubstep gun.
Yeah, there was all sorts of little fun little things like that. He was whipping the cars around and the telekinesis.
The telekinesis was that a gun? No, that's a power.
That's power. Yeah,
okay.
A whole bunch
it
of
was almost like Borderlands where you throw them up in a little sphere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was just lifting people up.
Yeah, but
controlling them. But one of the things I noticed that he did once that he didn't mention, it was the combo of one of them was the freeze ray. No, what do they call it?
Freeze power.
Freeze power or blast, what they call it. So that you could blast them and freeze them, and then you could pick them up and throw them against the wall, and people would shatter.
Yeah.
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 You could do that with cars and stuff. You just throw cars down the street, and they would slide all over the place like a Boston winter.
Yep. And another one of the powers I liked is the one where when you jump up really high, because you can get pretty high when you jump, is you then can, fall down and smash into the ground. Dragon Ball Z.
Crackdown?
Crackdown, too.
Okay,
exactly. Crackdown 1 was like that, too.
What I liked is that it kind of slowed down so that you had time to aim right where you wanted to land.
Yep.
Yeah, that I usually don't like that crazy jumping where you can jump over a tall building in a single bound. I tend to be like my video games more realistic, as corny as that sounds. But the way that this was presented and the way that you're in this little virtual kind of part of the game where it's,
Yeah, it kind of justifies it.
It does, because it says, okay, we're not real right now. We're in a virtual reality world, and we're going to get silly. Mm-hmm. But when you get back to Earth or whatever it is, real world, it kind of goes back to normal silly rather than over the top silly.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes me not worried about them jumping the shark with the superpowers, is that there is some restraint there, and I think that's where a lot of the humor is. It's in that restraint and when to go crazy and when not to. And clearly they know that balance, and it's comforting to see that they still seem to keep that balance, because that was something I was worried about.
Go ahead.
Oh, another thing they're also adding that they announced was there's going to be a mech in it.
I really want to see if the mech is affected by the dubstep gun.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's your own mech. You drive it. And they were showing it in the Mayhem mode, which was the mode where you have to do a certain amount of damage.
I imagine it would, because I imagine you'll fight them, because like the Mayhem used to be for tanks, and tanks are something that the enemy had plenty of in Saints Row 3.
Right.
So I imagine someone at some point you'll have to fight a mech. I just hope that you get to use a dubstep gun on it. Because at the end of the Mayhem with the mech, you saw the mech doing the robot.
Right. That's right. Oh, yeah. I didn't notice that until you mentioned that. Anyway, the mech's going to have a minigun and a rocket launcher fully kitted out. It's also going to be able to lift off and fly, which is also awesome.
Jetpack.
Jetpacks. Let's see. Fast run, super kinesis. Going through my choice. Okay. Superpowers are going to be unlocked. They're not going to really customizable. Oh no, it's directional. So that's not going to get in the way. So the superpowers are unlocked. They're not really customizable, but you can have only have a few of them docked at a certain time. So even though you have unlocked all the superpowers, you don't have them all accessible at all times. You kind of have to pick and choose, load them up, get them ready. So that's kind of a nice, I mean, I expected that. I kind of wish they were all, I wonder if there's like a breakout mode where you can have all of them.
I'm kind of glad they're not, because like he said, they're like a gun. Well, you have a whole bunch, but you can only equip a couple. And I think that's cool, because that kind of forces you to think, which ones do I like? Which ones do I want to play with? Which ones? It prevents you from being too powerful. Mm-hmm. Like, you're powerful enough to have fun, but not so much that the game becomes boring.
Right. And another thing that they said, that the critical path, as far as the quest and the mission is concerned, the critical path is about to be about the same time as Saints Row the Third. But there's just seems to be there's going to be more open world stuff running around, which honestly I didn't find a shortage of open world missions within Saints Row.
Yeah,
they were a little bit repetitive because you had to go back and do it, for 3 different levels. The silver, bronze, silver, and gold.
Well, no, that bronze, silver, and gold was new this time.
Was that new? Okay, you had to go back and do hard, easy, medium, hard. That's what it was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was an easy, medium, hard. So you